So can we make all the drivers on the Formula 1 grid a 2025's champion? So here we have all the drivers from Lando Norris to Franco Colapinto. Obviously we have already done 4 drivers, and here we have Lewis Hamilton, Max Verstappen, Yuki Tsunoda and Fernando Alonso. So we are going this time with Oscar Piastri. Obviously it's going to be a little easier, but let's see what we can do. And obviously guys, this time I am putting a little bit of a hamper on us. That will be that, well, we are going to be starting with minimum fuel in every single race. So starting before, even well at the end of 2024 season, we are going to upgrade some things. And first of all, it is the design center, and now we are out of money, so we went in and did car development for all the drivers, affiliates and Lando Norris too, so that he does not compete with Oscar Piastri. Obviously the drivers that were left, I put them on marketability. So we have some money right now, 1.8 million to be exact. So we are going to use all our ATR periods and go for the underflow upgrade, and that is going to give us a lot of high speed and medium speed performance. That is important. So that is done. So now we go into the sponsor negotiation, 85 million there. That is a good amount. So we go back in the upgrades, rear wing is done, and obviously it's going to give us a lot of performance. Then we go for the front wing so that we can get that low speed and medium speed performance a little bit better. Look at that, so much low speed performance, that is going to come in handy very much. So in the chassis department, look at that, we are trying to gain everything. First of all, it's low speed, medium speed and high speed performance. So we have the money, we have upgraded the factory, and let's just go for the design center that is completed. And we now go for suspension, which is going to give us 10% tire preservation, and then we go into side pods. That is going to give us 12.8, almost 30% engine cooling, and that upgrades have meant that in the first race of the season, Oscar Piastri won it by 9 seconds to Lando Norris. Obviously Lando Norris, mind you, does not have a single upgrade. And for the second ATR period guys, we go for chassis, because obviously this time we are going to focus on top speed. So let's see what we can do, and this is the most we can do to keep almost everything positive guys. Obviously that is always the goal, which means guys, look at that, in the second race in the Chinese sprint we won it by 9 seconds. And look at that guys, to show you that I am doing the lowest fuel. And China GP, look at that, we are 8.9 kgs under fueled, and at the end of the race we were 26 seconds in front. And look at the difference in the car for both the drivers. Obviously I haven't given anything to Lando Norris, but I am thinking to do something about it. So Piastri in the Japanese GP won it very easily. Obviously it was easier to save in this race guys, because the whole race was whitewashed, well, rain washed. And here we have Lando Norris who won in the race. Obviously Piastri wasn't able to just perform. I think he had some kind of problem with the car, just wasn't able to perform that much. Obviously it was a little difficult to save the fuel in this one. But in the Saudi Arabian GP, Lando Norris and Piastri got P2 and P1 respectively, and obviously Piastri did amazing. So in the Miami race, well, obviously sprint doesn't really matter, Piastri won it by almost 10 seconds. Obviously guys, at the start of the season I thought this might be a little difficult to keep all the cars, well, not all the cars, I meant keeping Piastri underfueled will be very difficult. But guys, I just saw that, look at that, in the Imola GP he again wins it. Is that keeping minimum fuel is actually the meta, because if you have the performance and you are, well, more or less in front, you are going to win. Like this guys, 36 seconds in front Piastri was, and in the Spanish GP Piastri won it by 10 seconds from Max Verstappen. That's how amazing he is. And look at that, in the Canadian GP both of the drivers are fighting with each other Red Bull drivers are fighting with each other. That meant Lando Norris was able to win the Canadian GP. Obviously guys, we do not have the best top speed, so we are trying to get, again look at that, again trying to use the chassis so that we can get that performance. Obviously the design center upgrade has come in, so we are using every part of our ATR period. Obviously guys, we did 2 ATR periods close to each other so that we can do 2 big upgrades, and look at that, here we have done. Obviously the upgrades after the early part of the season were just so that we can get the ATR period done, because that is the only way we could get much performance out of the car. And here we have Piastri, who won the Austrian GP by 16 seconds, and in the British GP, look at that, really difficult to save fuel in this one, and we were 13.5 kgs under fueled, and at the end guys, we were able to save after a safety car that came in, and we won it by 30 seconds from Lando Norris. Obviously it must be really annoying to see guys, because obviously I did not think it will be this easy to get this done, because obviously we were going lowest fuel. I thought that might put us in some kind of disadvantage, but look at that guys, Piastri won the Spa GP by 13 seconds, and before the summer break in the Hungary GP 14.7 kg lower fuel. But still guys, Piastri started from pole and ended his race in P1. That is how amazing he did his job. Obviously I am also surprised that this worked such an amazing way. And obviously Lando Norris also got P3, and Lando Norris, I think I have given him now about 3 upgrades, so he is keeping up with Lando Norris. And look at that guys, he is 120 points, Oscar Piastri is 120 points in front of Lando Norris. So we have the money guys, so we are going to upgrade car part test center and suspension simulator, and obviously the money making 2 center, which I didn't really needed it because of the money we got from the Mclaren team in itself. So now guys, at the end part of the season, it's getting really difficult to do any upgrades which is going to produce too much performance, but still it doesn't matter guys, because at the end of Zandvoort GP after the summer break, Piastri won it by 2 seconds, but obviously there was a late safety car. So in the Monza GP, we decided to start from the pit lane. That I thought would be a really easy thing, but at the end we found out it wasn't, because Stroll was able to win the Monza GP. Obviously guys, late safety car, these guys went and did their race on the soft tires. We stayed on the hards. Obviously that's why guys, we were just so bad at the last part of the race. But still guys, amazing to see Lance Stroll winning a race in that Aston Martin without any upgrades. That is amazing. So here we have Azerbaijan, Baku. Look at that, how close these guys are to each other. Piastri just hanging on in front of Lando Norris, and he has won the Azerbaijan GP. Obviously guys, as soon as I was giving more and more upgrades to Lando Norris, he was catching up to Piastri, but that's why I stopped giving Lando Norris all the upgrades, and that's why even after that Lando Norris and Piastri were joined to the hip. But still guys, Piastri got the better of Lando Norris and was able to win the Singapore GP. That is also crazy. Obviously 3 seconds behind was Max Verstappen, and he was again 3 seconds behind in the sprint. But guys, in the main race, Piastri and Lando Norris got P1 and P2, but the other competitors, Russell was 53 seconds behind the top 2. That was the utter dominance part from us. And in the Mexico GP, we got P1 and P2, and guys, it was just almost really good race. But in the Brazil GP, we just lost it a little bit. But in the main race guys, as is the case, we got P1 and P2 very easily. So in the Las Vegas GP guys, Just way too many safety cars, way too many craziness. We did not falter from our strategy. That's why Max Verstappen was able to win the Las Vegas GP, but still P2 and P3, Piastri got P3. But guys, we are almost there. We are almost there for Piastri, to win the championship, because in the sprint race, Piastri got the fastest lap while winning the Qatar GP, and for the main race of Qatar GP, he also won by 42 seconds from Lando Norris. That's how dominant he is right now, and obviously it is 47 seconds, but still guys, this is the dominance he is showing in this season alone. So let's just go for the final race of the season in Abu Dhabi, starting P1 and P3 for our team. Obviously this time I thought, let's just put Lando Norris also on the minimum fuel and let's see what they can do. Obviously I am going to give them equal treatment, equal car and everything. Let's see what happens in this final race of the season. And what we saw guys is an utter amazing race for the last race of the season. Lando Norris, Piastri fighting with each other in both the DRS straights, and look at that, through the inside becomes the outside for Oscar Piastri, who has now overtaken Lando Norris for the lead. But Lando Norris will get the second dose of DRS into turn 9. Can Lando Norris overtake Oscar Piastri? He will have to go around the outside, and then he goes around the outside, getting the more grip, the most grip he can get from the tires, and he has done it. He has stayed in front of Oscar Piastri. Lando Norris, look at that, we have not changed any modes for any of our drivers. They are on equal terms, almost equal tire wear, and that is the reason guys. It doesn't matter though, even if Lando Norris wins the race, which is he going to win the race, it doesn't matter, because Oscar Piastri has won the championship, and Oscar Piastri gets his championship, and he is now the champion of the world, the third Australian champion of the world, and first in the 21st century. What an amazing work from him guys. Obviously look at that. Look at that, Oscar Piastri 150. Well, that is 170 points in front of Lando Norris. That is crazy. He won 19 races out of the 24 races, and Mclaren was able to get 1000 points. First time I think that has happened. A team got 1000 points in one season. That is crazy guys. And guys, if you like these kinds of crazy experiments, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys for the next one.